It's 2 o'clock. This is Newsday. I'm Andrew Barnes. A very good afternoon. ANC President Jacob Zuma says he has no doubt about the support of the South African youth. Speaking at the party's last pre-election media briefing in Johannesburg earlier, he said the excitement the youth has displayed for the ANC will ensure the party's growth. Zuma also says South Africans will be wasting their time voting for any other party tomorrow. Zuma says anyone who wants South Africa to be a prosperous country should vote for the ruling party because clear policies from an experienced ANC can take the country forward. Zuma has also assured voters that with a clear majority, the party will act responsibly and be accountable to all citizens.
The youth excitement about the ANC assures us that this movement has a great future and can only grow from strength to strength. So it's not just for the country, the future is for the ANC, because they are voting the ANC, they are joining the ANC.
With about 16 hours to go before South Africans start casting their votes, the Independent Electoral Commission says it's ready for Election Day. But Commission's already dealing with its first problem, though. Abandoned ballot papers were found in Mpumalanga yesterday. The IEC is investigating how and why the papers ended up on the side of the road in White River. In the meantime, millions of South Africans are preparing to stand in queues tomorrow. Polling stations will be open between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. The IEC says it's expecting the highest voter turnout ever, partly due to the fact that there are so many first-time voters. Final results are expected by Sunday. Well, time's running out for special voters to cast their ballots. Today is the last day for them to make their mark. The IEC set aside 2 days to accommodate the infirm, the very old and women in advanced stages of pregnancy, as well as IEC and security officials. Over 80,000 South Africans were registered to cast special votes, but that figure did tick up slightly, with people having had until 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon to apply. With Election Day just hours away, the pundits are placing their money on the ANC's Jacob Zuma to become the next president, but they're not as keen to place bets on who's going to be South Africa's next First Lady. Zuma has 2 official wives, and nobody in his inner circle is saying who he's going to choose to publicly stand beside him. Annika Larson takes a look at the contenders for a job that nobody might want.
Charm, beauty, charity. And above all else, stand by your man. But choosing the country's next official #1 may not be as simple. Our likely next president is a proud polygamist and has been quoted as saying there are plenty of politicians who have mistresses and children that they hide, pretending to be monogamous. I love my wives and am proud of my children. Zuma has been married at least 4 times. One of his wives, Kate, committed suicide in 2005, while Zuma and the current Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, divorced in 1998. That leaves Zuma with only 2 official wives. His first wife, Sizakele Khumalo, who he married 49 years ago. Ma Khumalo, as she is fondly known, is painfully shy, loyal, and described by Zuma as a wife, friend and sister to him. Here she is, accompanying him to President Thabo Mbeki's inauguration in 2004. She's not fond of the limelight and later said she found the whole experience absolutely terrifying. Contender number 2 for the job of First Lady, Nompumelelo Ntuli. Ma Ntuli, as she is known, and Zuma married 5 years ago, but their traditional ceremony was held in January of last year. She's a little more outspoken than Ma Khumalo and has appeared at Zuma's side at several social functions. So, which of Zuma's wives will set up house here at one of the president's official residences? Well, we asked the ANC who will be South Africa's next First Lady, and we were told in no uncertain terms that to even ask such a question is a violation of Zuma's right to privacy. It seems like an unreasonable response to a fairly standard question. Whoever gets the job, being a First Lady is tough.
I think it's difficult for anybody, unless you've been used to living at a very, very high level. Being head of state and being the wife of a head of state is a big job, and there's hardly anybody that is used to that kind of life. So that is why the office of the president is there. They provide the services that the presidential pair will require.
The presidency will provide the First Lady with a secretary and security. But how does one know what to do at state functions and official visits? Christine van Heerden from International Protocol Consultants helps diplomats and ministers to do the right thing. Things you would never think matter, such as getting out of a car without giving waiting photographers something to talk about, or knowing one's place at all times.
It's when she's on the red carpet, for instance, and she's quite unsure, on which side to walk. And very importantly, the rule of the right dictates that she should always be on the right-hand side of the host, of the person hosting her. For example, at the opening of Parliament, she will be walking on the right-hand side of the Speaker.
And never wear big hats that cover your eyes, kiss and hug people, or chew big hunks of food in public.
Small bites, very small bites, so that you're in the position to interact with anybody around you all the time.
Perhaps Zuma will dodge a potential war of the wives and follow Nelson Mandela's lead by asking his daughter Duduzile to accompany him to state functions. Whichever woman takes his side, she'll have to sacrifice her privacy for man and country. Annika Larsen, Enews, Cape Town.
Well, let's get the very latest and direct from the horse's mouth. On the line, the country's chief electoral officer, Pansy Tlakula. Pansy, it's the final countdown. How is the IEC feeling?
Yeah, no, we're fine today. We're dealing with special votes. We have had all of a sudden a flood of people at our voting stations. I think there's been some miscommunication. People thinking that by the mere fact that they are old and they are pensioners, they can go to our voting stations to go and vote, and that is not how the system works. But apart from that, which is we're managing, everything is on course for tomorrow.
What sets tomorrow's election apart from the previous three that we've had?
One is the number of South Africans who are registered. In 2004, we had 20 million. We're now having 23 million, with a record number of young people who have registered to vote. We have a lot of political parties contesting this election. 26 of them will be on the national ballot. A total of 40 parties will be contesting elections. And just the fever around this election, the vibrant campaigning that has gone with it, it's just been very, very exciting.
You're also a lot more high-tech this year, aren't you?
Yes, we are. The innovation that we have introduced is the scanning of the result slip, so that after the result slip has been completed in the voting station after counting, we then transport the result slip to our municipal electoral offices, where we're going to capture the result into the system. But in addition to that, we'll scan that result slip so that in our computer we'll have an image of a result slip for each and every voting station, and that image can be recalled by the political party for verification purposes.
First results expected when, Pansy?
Say that again.
I say the first results, when are we expecting them?
Difficult to say, because on the 23rd and the 24th we can't announce, because in terms of the law, we have to deal with all the objections that will be lodged by the political parties. And we can only announce once we have dealt with all those objections. So we're looking at probably Saturday or Sunday, but it's still speculative at this point in time.
All right. And just you're going to be at the Results Operations Centre in Pretoria tomorrow. Why don't you allow voting there?
I voted yesterday.
No, I'm asking you why doesn't the IEC allow or set up a voting station at its results centre, given just how many people are there?
No, it can be, because people have to register where they are ordinarily resident. None of us are resident here, except for the people who live nearby the centre.
All right, well, full marks for trying. I mean, I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm having to vote in Pretoria, and as a result, I'm not going to be voting for the provincial elections.
Thank you very much.
All right, Pansy, take care.
Thanks.
the Chief Electoral Officer of the Independent Electoral Commission, Pansy Tlakula.